Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and on this video, I want to talk about shared ownership. You know when you see on Rightmove those houses where you think, oh my gosh, that's so cheap, and then it says 50% shared ownership? What does that mean? What that means is you're buying a part of the house and the other part is going to be continued to be owned by a housing association. So is it good? Should you buy a house on a shared ownership basis or not? I guess the answer, it kind of depends. Generally speaking, I think shared ownership is bad. I am not a fan. And I'm gonna list the reasons why, but I'm also gonna give the pros as well, and then you can make your own mind up. But firstly, really important, is you cannot buy a house on a shared ownership scheme and then rent it out. If you're buying a house on a shared ownership scheme, you have to live there. This is set up for first-time buyers that haven't got much money and they can only afford to put in 50% or 25%. Usually it's between 25 and 75%. The reason I think it's bad for homeowners, number one, being a homeowner isn't that great. Being a homeowner is not that great. I myself am a tenant. This house that I'm in right now, I live here, but it's not owned by me. And that's a commercial decision. And the reason is because I like being a tenant, because if something breaks and I'm in a big house, the landlord fixes it. It's easy. My properties that I own and I rent out, they make me good money because I buy them strategically, not to live in. Now, the problem with shared ownership houses is you buy it to live in, but you have all the cons of being a homeowner. Here's the thing. If you say, I'm a 50% shared ownership owner of this house, the boiler breaks. You don't go 50-50 on the repairs. You have to pay 100%. So you have the cons of being a homeowner, but you also are a tenant. Because if you only own 50% of the house, you need to pay rent on the other 50% to the housing association, which a lot of people don't realize, but you're still a tenant. Firstly, every time you buy more shares, you have to pay legal, solicitor fees, mortgage application fees. And then even if you buy all the shares and suddenly you own the whole house, it's only ever gonna be leasehold, which means you never own the land, which means you're always gonna have to pay service charges to the freehold that owns the land. I am not a fan of shared ownership at all. Another thing is this, if you invest 10 grand on a house, say you're living in a shared ownership house, usually they're new builds by the way, and normally you'll pay over the odds. So normally you'll pay 50%, but it'll be an inflated price. And then if you want to sell the house, you have to sell the shares. It's pretty difficult to sell because it's such a terrible scheme. So you're probably going to end up being stuck with it. And there's going to be people saying, it's not a terrible scheme. I did shared ownership and made money. Yeah, because you bought a house and houses often go up in value. So I'm not saying you can't make money with shared ownership. I'm just saying it's a very, very, very sucky scheme. It sucks. I'd never let my kids buy a house on shared ownership. If you invest 10 grand on getting a new kitchen, a new bathroom, and lifting the value of the house up. So you invest 10 grand, you push the house up 10 grand, but then you only benefit from half of that 5 grand. So it's just like, it does not make any sense. So my general thoughts are, if you're scrolling through Rightmove and you see shared ownership house, keep on scrolling. I'd love to know your thoughts. Comment your thoughts below. If you enjoy these types of videos, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I did another video about help to buy scheme. If you're interested in that video, you can check it out right here. If you're saying, Samuel, what's the alternative? How do I make money as a property investor? Then come on down to the Property Investors Crash Course. You can do that right here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe over here. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.